I really just don't get it. I really, really, really just don't get it. I don't know how many times. I don't know why. First of all, I'll start off saying that I don't know why these terms get so convoluted. They get so convoluted. It's crazy how convoluted these terms get just because people don't want to look at what they saying. Just because people want to believe in some bullshit, tell themselves a lie so they go to sleep easier. When it come down to unconditional love and what that actually means, what that actually is, should be baffling to me. Should just be baffling to me. Because how are you gonna say in the all of saying unconditional love, how are you gonna say in that same sentence of unconditional love, in your own sentence that you give yourself, in your own judgment that you put over yourself in the same sentence, you say, I love them from afar. Do you not know that that distance is a condition that you put on someone? Because that distance is not real. That distance ain't there. But due to you not operating out of true unconditional love, you say that so you self feel better, so you can feel a little bit better about the fact that you don't have the unconditional love, that you don't have the strength to have that unconditional love. And then you got people that don't even know the truth of unconditional love. They don't know what it means to have unconditional love. They don't know what it means to even have conditional love. They just see it as themselves as, well, they didn't do this for me, so why do I need it myself? Why do I have to give love if I didn't? Well, why do I have to give love if I never received it? But they don't even get or understand what they saying when they say that shit. They just be saying stuff because they be hurt, and they don't know that the only person they be hurting is themselves. They don't even see how ignorant they is or they are, and I'm gonna say they is to just nail that in a little bit more than usual. But it is baffling to me. The world, just the world we live in, the ignorance of it all, the fact people say things and then double down, they triple down, they quadruple down on some statement, and then act like it's someone else's fault when they can't give that love, when it's really them. They don't want to give that love. They don't want to have unconditional love. They want to give conditional love. They want to say they ain't no such thing as love because, first of all, they a devil. And then they can't give unconditional love because they aren't a being of love. They aren't anything close to love because they have to put a condition on it. And that's just a hard truth a lot of people got to swallow. You can't be a being of love and then put a condition on yourself. That puts you in a category. You have now placed yourself in a category that does not allow you to resonate on the frequency of divine love, hadis ashuk, on true unconditional love. Unconditional love is just divine love, and a lot of people do not love divinely. They love dividedly. They like to divide that love, but they don't love divinely. They don't take the love from the vine. Well, no, they do. They sure as hell do. They snag that shit off the vine. But they don't allow that vine to feed them. They just snag it off. They go, well, I want to rip it off. They don't ever see where that vine leading to. They just snag it, kill the cord. They don't get that. You got unconditional love, but then you want to do cord cuttings and get rid of that cord. Whenever that cord isn't even going to be there if you did operate out of nothing but love. That angst, that sword you used to cut that cord, that ain't not love. You don't got to cut something in the name of love. You can just simply let it be by knowing that if you are operating at a true frequency of love, that shit can't touch you. That shit not able to sustain that love. You got people being like, well, they can drain me of my love. Who the fuck can drain you of your love? That ain't love they draining. That ain't love. They that might be conditioned love that they draining for sure, but they ain't no unconditional love. So you might need to change yourself if you getting drained because you love people. Because then that just means that you giving conditional love. You're not giving actual love. You're not giving real love. You giving the love that you hope that you receiving. You giving the love that you believe that you putting out, but you're not seeing how that love is a lust. But you're not seeing how that love is a condition. Because you still have a cord or a pull on it. Love don't pull. Love attracts. A lust is what pulls. A lot of people need to know that. I'm just it is baffling to me. Because then you got all these people, and then they go, love, how do I know when love is real? What are you talking about? First of all, if you can't sit in the energy of knowing that love is real, let me back up. If you ever if you say that you're a being of love and then you back that up by saying I don't know if love is real or I don't know if my type of love is real, what is your type of love then? Let's back it up all the way to there. What do you define your type of love is? If you don't think it's out there anywhere, wanna know why it's not out there? Cause you conditioned it. There ain't no other you out there, just you in the now. So then you put a condition on your love. You want it this way, you want it that way. Awesome. Well, guess what? There's not another you out there. Only you. And since you look outward and not inward to find that love, you ain't ever gonna find shit. So you ain't gonna find your love till you look inside. And then when you look inside, it's a bunch of gunk and shit because you haven't done that work because you've been so busy looking outward instead of inward that you collected a bunch of dirt and gunk and shit and believed that over your true self. So now you ain't gonna find any love because you looked inside yourself and found dirt and shit, and you don't know how to build off of that. You don't know how to manure your flowers correctly or fix your garden correctly because your garden been trampled on by your own self, and then you beating yourself up, and then other people pick that frequency up subconsciously, consciously, unconsciously, and then they start beating you up, and then you start looking at other people, why you beating me up? You can't do that when you're not even allowing yourself to stop beating yourself up. So then it becomes a whole big circle where you've been putting yourself in a conditioned love, and that conditioned love gives other people the right to abuse you because you telling other people by your conditioned love that they love ain't good. And if they love ain't good, why the fuck should they even give you any amount of love? The same shit you be doing to yourself. And then you end up in this cycle of not actually getting love, this cycle of actually just getting lust, getting your cravings fixed. And then you got people that want to disagree with what I'm saying because it hit too close to home. It knock on your door loud as fuck. And it's like, I'm trying to come in. And it's that wake up call. Oh shit, maybe I have been living in conditional love because I said that I wasn't going to love so and so because they did this and that. Or because they worship this or they worship that. I ain't going to show them love. But guess who taught you that? That's religion that taught you that. That's religion's bullshit that taught you that stuff. Don't love them if they do this, even though it says in those books to love everyone like your brother and your sister. But then you grew up in a house with a bunch of trauma from your brother and your sister and your mom and your dad. So then you go out in the open world and you expect that if they don't give you love to fix that shit, that it ain't the love that you need. When it is the love that you need, you're just not seeing it because you're still so stuck on what they did years ago and didn't love yourself enough to uncondition yourself from the past, to be in a element, in a vibration, in a light of love in the present moment, to accept that shit how it is. That's the big power of unconditional love. That's the truth of unconditional love. People ain't ready for that. Y'all seen the movie Grudge? The Grudge, the woman in the well, she died in that well, and then you got 7 days. That's the ring. I'm thinking of The Ring, not The Grudge. The Grudge was that boy. I'm thinking of The Ring. My bad. The Ring. You got 7 days, and she come out that well, and she disfigure your face. She disfigure you, and we all know that your face is representative of the ego, and the nose is who you is. And it's always the mouth and eyes that are contorted, and the hands that are contorted, never the nose. You can contort the nose, by the way. Oh, you can, but it never was. If you go back and look at that film, ain't no one nose contorted. It's always the mouth where they speak from. It's always the eyes what they see, and always the hands what they make. That contorted in those movies. Then you got 7 days a week. You sit there all damn day on that same on that same incident, on that ring, going in that loop, because you allowed that demon from inside of you, which you haven't exercised yet for some reason, crawl out that well, which is just your throat, and lets you speak out bullshit, lets you speak out hate, lets you disfigure other people because you aren't in that unconditional love. Because you allowed that to fester up in you all week, that fear of not receiving that love. However you want to see it, that movie is a great example for seeing it. If you watch that movie, if you watch any movie, I swear, and just pay attention to what it speaks of, not just in one way and always do so, you will see a lot more truth and stuff. Before I even turn on this damn phone to do this, I was getting to talk about that. That was one of my main points that my gods were like talking to say this. And I'm gonna listen to what my gods say. I'm not like these other phonies. I'm not like these other people, these ra'ah or these ra'ah, which are, are the agreeables, the disagreeables, excuse me, that act agreeable, are the devils that act like angels, which is one half of the third of the angels who are split in the war, not the third who's up in heaven or the third who's in on earth. We're talking about the 1/3 that don't know what the fuck to do. They on both sides. And then half of them want to act like they agreeable, but they disagreeable. They want to act like angels, but they really devils, and they really side with Samael and Shaitan, but they don't want to go down to earth. And then you got the other ones, they really the one they really the ones from Shaitan, from the devil, but they ain't want to be angels for real, so they don't want to go to heaven. They don't want to deal with all that. So they stuck in the middle being abominations. You got those people on here pulling damn cards, love them from afar. Why don't you just love them, period? Why don't you just love them and leave it at that? Why you gotta add a dumbass condition to shit? Why are you so afraid of that power? Because you don't want to love. Y'all want to hold a grudge. Y'all want to be stuck in that cycle. Y'all want to be in that energy. And then you got people saying, I don't want to. Then stop. Give yourself permission to stop putting yourself in that circle. Give yourself permission to stop being in that ring. If you really about love, if you really about working for the divine, being one of God's children, then why the fuck you still got anger in your damn heart? Why you still hold on grudges from the past? Why aren't you really out there giving divine love? Why are you still saying do this, do that? Why are you saying, loving them from afar? Why are you still holding those conditions? And this is the real talk. This is things that most people ain't gonna want to talk about, or they don't even want to hear, because it hits too home. It hits right on the nail of what that big question of why am I not receiving the love that I'm putting out? Because you aren't loving the way that you are wanting it put out, and you are getting what you've been putting out, and you don't like what you've been putting out. So you need to change your ways so you can get better. But that takes courage. Not from doing shit externally, but courage to love yourself enough to look at yourself and to see the conditions you put on yourself that then condition the people around you. And that's something a lot of people they just can't do. Their brain is not powerful enough to do it. Their nervous system, their vagus system, it not stable enough to do that. They might not even be smart enough to know how to. It might be a DNA thing. They just literally cannot do it because they're not supposed to. Because you're not. as godly or as angelic as you truly think. And that's the whole point where I try to get across to you people, where we say the term earth angel. The angels that are on earth are spawn of Samael and the 200 fallen angels that followed him down here. But y'all want to follow words that sound good rather than know the truth of what the fuck going on. You gotta be careful what you sign up for, because then now you say you're earth angel. Now you're stuck in between two battles. Now you're saying you're earth angel, trying to act like God's child, when we all know that all the angels that were sent to earth are are not heavenly beings no more. They can work their way up there for sure, but innately they ain't. Then you got DNA blockages. That's why all these earth angels, they weeping angels. They're not glorifying. They're not happy with shit. And that ain't saying that, oh, how the hell can we be happy in a time of war? You gotta learn how to make peace with yourself, so that that war is not inside, and then learn how to block the outside from the inside. And that don't mean staying inside all damn day and not experiencing life. That really means buffing yourself up, not being afflicted by the sins of the world that you have been put into, because you are not those sins unless you are enacting those sins on yourself. And yes, you are a murderer if you're not allowing yourself to be at its fullest creative abilities. If you say you're making something, you go, oh, I don't like this, and you throw it away, then you just murdered a part of yourself. You threw it away. It gone. The blood that powered that idea is now gone. But people don't get that. And you take it a step further. You look at all these, and this is the part that people don't want to ever look at. This is the toughest part of it, because y'all talk about, oh, I'm healed this, I'm healed that. Are you? Have you healed that part of you that was using your child gifts or your childhood memories or aspects of your childhood as a way for gratification for yourself as an adult? Because that's child abuse. And it's just crazy to me. It's it is crazy. It is bizarre to me. But at the end of the day, at the beginning of the day, because we gotta stop saying at the end of the day, because the days don't end. The days bleed into each other. The days become night, they become day again. Ain't no end of the day. It's just a resting period of the day. Because if it was the end, it wouldn't be coming back. So at the beginning of the day, when you open your eyes, whenever that is, whenever you decide to see the truth, see the true light, not be blinded by it, not be scared away by it, but by looking at it and seeing what it is, maybe then we stop using certain words and certain terms and certain conditions and really see what's going on in the world, seeing what's going on in our internal world. Because that's the whole thing. You got all these people wanting to be superheroes and shit. I'm gonna save the world. You can't even save your damn self. You can't even save $5 fucking. How the hell are you gonna save the world when you can't even save $5 fucking? Be real with yourself. For real. Honestly. Humble yourself a little bit and look at what you're saying. Good ambition, amazing ambition, right? But if you can't say if you cannot save the smallest things, then you cannot save the biggest things. And if you can't save the most important thing, which is yourself, then how the hell are you going to save the damn world? You know what I mean? These people, y'all, it's like people get so caught up with entertainment. They get so caught up with these terms. They get so caught up in their ego. Oh, I'm smart. I'm smart. Damn. Let me speak. I said, because they get caught up in these terms. I'm smart. I'm handsome. I'm beautiful. I'm this. I'm that. You're nothing. First of all, that's your ego. Your ego's this. Your ego's that. Because if you were any of those things, then why do you defer? Why do you trail off? If you so beautiful and handsome, why don't everyone in the world see your beauty and not let that be corrupt? Would that be a someone else's problem or would that be a you problem? You gotta think about it. Because if you are the one projecting that stuff out, then why would anyone else see it as other than that? Or speak about it in any way other than that? That's a condition people put on people. I'm beautiful to all these people except for that group. That's a condition. That's something else you gotta uncondition yourself from. That's a part of the ego that likes to trick people into thinking that they so great when in reality they just a vessel being used by a spirit, either getting their soul corrupt, or if they don't have a soul, let their spirit be corrupt. Or if they got a soul, sell them they damn soul. Because they ain't gonna stand up for what the truth is. They ain't gonna stand up for all these other things. I got all these other things to worry about on the physical. I gotta worry about that. I gotta worry about my taking care of my dog. Then why the hell you got your dog? If you're so worried about it, then why you have your dog? If that becomes a bother or burden to you, why do you have it? Why do you enjoy? And I'm just keeping it real. I'm not saying nothing's right or wrong. I'm just keeping it real. So I'm the only one that's gonna voice these voices out, at least on this damn side. Ain't no one else gonna say it directly like I am. Everyone else gonna beat around the bush and be like, "Oh, it's okay." Is it okay? Is it okay truly, or have you just allowed yourself to be conditioned and be like, "Nah, it is okay"? Because unconditional would be not okay because that condition of being okay would not be there. You'd be part of the all. You would see every benefit of it. And don't just listen to what I'm saying and then be like, yeah, I resonate with all of it. Really sit down and think about this shit. It's not something to just say. I'm not just saying this shit to say it. There is true wisdom. There is true right knowledge, right reasoning in what I'm saying. It's not some hokey pokey. It's the real deal. It's what you gotta see if you're gonna make it out of here, at least if you want to make it out of here. You got to remove these conditions. That's your weight. That's part of your soul's weight. Oh, I was told that I wasn't good enough to do this because blah blah blah. Why? Why do you tell yourself that? Why would you, at the time of admitting your guilt, admit that you picked that up and you held on to it when you could have dropped it just as easily as you picked it up, but yet you fight to drop it? Why is there a fight there to drop it? Look at that. See where that's at. That's your box. That's your condition. That's why you got to look outside the box. That's the whole term, the box. Saturn's box, it's a cube. Saturn's cube that you stuck in. What does Saturn govern? Your discipline. Why is your discipline boxing you in? Why are you so disciplined with not showing your true self? Why are you so disciplined in keeping yourself small? What has conditioned you or corrupted you, better yet, to be that way? And why have you not yet broke out of it? It's a simple answer when you get down to it, and the answer is different for everybody, but the general answer is not I don't know how to. The general answer is I got comfortable. But what comfort did that give you? That's different. Maybe you got the comfort not being talked about. Maybe you got the comfort of not looking like a damn fool. Maybe you got the comfort of money, of friends, the comfort of solitude. But those are all conditions that you put yourself in. The only reason truly you should put yourself in a condition is to experience something so you can reason with it, so you can learn from it, not so you get stuck in it and not move forward. When you turn your air conditioner on or off, it's to make the room in a more suitable temperature. The same thing goes with the conditions around you. Sometimes things get so hot you get used to it. You turn on that hot shower, you stand underneath it, there's a bunch of damn smoke going everywhere because of how hot it is, scalding your damn skin, but you just sitting there fine with it because you got used to it. Same thing with the ice cold bath. It's sitting there freezing cold, but you sat in there for 30 minutes and now it's fine because you became conditioned to it. Does that mean it's okay? No. Does that mean it's right? No. Does it mean it's wrong? No. Does it mean it's bad? No. It just means you became conditioned and you need to be aware of that. Was the conditioning due to time at first, or was it due to a mentality? And from that point, you have to rewire it, reverse engineer it. If someone called you stupid, and then in your mind, you start thinking that you're stupid, and then everything that you do externally is now stupid, that's a mind thing. So now you got to go back to your mind and uncondition it from thinking that it's stupid. You have people around you, everyone's attacking you. That someone could have told you that. And that might not have been for you, but that was the only logical thing that you could have found at that time. Turns out no one's attacking you except for yourself. You're just putting yourself in a box and being sharp with people, and the other people don't like you being sharp with them. So they start being how they want to be towards you. Go golden rule, treat others how you want to be treated. And you're not liking the way that that reflection's coming. Because there's a part of you that's not liking the way that you being in that time. So then you got to go back into yourself and see what spirit is inside me to produce that externally so that I don't receive what I am desiring. It's that inner work. That's the unconditional part of it. Is unconditioning yourself from expecting love from outside, from expecting a certain love from the outside. Why can't you just be in love? Why is it so hard for you to think that it's like, first of all, I had someone say that love is cheesy. It ain't easy being cheesy talking about love. Ain't nothing cheesy about love. You think that way? Bye. You're the cheesy one because you think it's cheesy to love. You might as well just not join my club. You can go away. You ain't gonna be part of me and my father. That's for damn sure. Ain't nothing cheesy about it. You were created and grafted in the name of love. Point simple blank. If your cells didn't love each other, you'd be eviscerated by now. You would not exist. Your cells would just start splitting apart, not ever being seen. Your cells your cells love you to the point where they regenerate themselves. I want you to sit down and know that you got dead skin. Yep, that's old skin. I love you so much. This bacteria on your body love you so much it regenerates itself without you even needing to ask it to. Your body automatically get rid of this waste for you without you needing to mentally process all of it consciously. That's unconditional love. These things happen for you, but you take it for granted. And then when they stop working, oh, now you got bowel issues, or you can't walk, you can't do these things now. Now it's like, oh, what the fuck? Why does everything hate me? Nothing hated you. You just hated yourself. You actually were stewing that in your body. That could have been a DNA thing from your ancestors. And your ancestors, they fucked up. So now you gotta take care, now you gotta bear their sins. But now you gotta show your ancestors love. You gotta show yourself love on the journey. Because you didn't want it. You didn't ask, hey, I want this to happen to me. But that's your journey of love, is seeing the benefit in that. Not making self-deprecating jokes, not bullying yourself and laughing at it. Really showing yourself love. Because it ain't no fake shit. There ain't no such thing as fake love. It's either love or not love. In the realm of the spectrum of love, it is just either love or not love, all in or all out. If you're somewhere in the middle, that ain't all love. That's love and something else. And that's dirtying that love. That is perverting that love. So it ain't true love. It's something. It's love with a little bit of lust. It's love with a bit of hate, of doubt, of whatever you want to put in there. But that don't make it love. That makes it a mix. But then people don't want to see that mix. They want to, well, it does have that mix in it, but I want to focus on the love part. So you're going to lie to yourself. Now you're lying to yourself to try and make things better with yourself when you know deep down inside it ain't all love. It's just making it worse and worse and worse on you. And you ain't able to get over that boundary. You're able to get over that mole, that hill, because you haven't been true with yourself to see it ain't all love. Because I still have this to work through, and I don't want to work through that right now. So I'm not going to look at it. I'm just going to look at the love aspect and move on. That's fine. But when will you purify that? Oh, I don't have time to. You don't got time to, but you definitely got time to let that other half pop through. You definitely got time to let that hate, that deprecation, that lack come through. Or you got all the time in the world for that to come through, but you ain't got a split second for that love to truly come through and to wash away that in an instant. Because you choose to focus on that thing. You choose to focus on ignoring it. That ignorance. And whatever you ignore becomes louder. A lot of people don't realize that either. They want to ignore things in the world. It becomes louder and louder to you. Till you show it attention. Till you look at it and see what it wants. And then instead of picking and choosing what you want, let it show you its whole value. Let it show you its whole face. And then choose from that whole face, do I want this or not? Out of love. Not out of a condition, not because you picked this part of it and it was all good. Like, oh, I want to eat this apple, but there's a little mushy part on the back of it. So I'm not going to eat that one. That's what y'all do when you pick and choose. You could have just ate the whole apple. The apple is going to be mushy when it hits your mouth. Mastication. It's going to be mushy by the time it hits your mouth. So why are you worried about it being mushy now? It's all these things. Truly, seriously. So when we talk about putting conditions on shit, you really gotta see what the fuck you doing. What condition are you putting it on? What condition are you putting it in? Why are you conditioning it? And don't let it make you feel. And don't start saying it's good or bad and shit. Don't start to categorize it because that's just gonna give whatever's momentum you to already be in a conditional energy to give it more ammo. So you're just gonna be doing the devil work on your behalf by categorizing it. You gotta look at it from a point blank view. Look at it. Why is what I'm looking at the color green? Because the way light works is every color be shining on that object but the color green. So I see green. Because all those values that they put together in that light mixed together output that color green. And that's what I'm going to register. That's why. Because when you look at things, you condition it. When you're looking at a situation or a circumstance, I didn't like this. So I'm going to hide that in the full spectrum of what I'm looking at without realizing that everything's already there. You're just choosing to see this because this was the thing that wasn't there. I'm choosing to see that this person had hate for me because that hate was never there. That hate started with you. That hate started within self. There's something inside of you that didn't like it. And that dislike became a disgruntled, and that disgruntled became a hate, became an anger, became some form of foul spirit that now you have to hold a grudge onto because you haven't resuscitated that. And talking about the grudge, even that little boy who drowned, that inner child that drowned in those emotions, those feelings that were never shifted through, now he's coming back with a vengeance, haunting people, gurgling. Same thing happens inside of you. When you try to drown out that inner child of love with why did this happen and bombarding it with questions that it can't digest. It needs you to be able to digest those questions and to give it an answer, that safety net. You need to be that for yourself. You need to be able to ask yourself these questions and sit down and see these things so you can really free yourself. To see the truth of this is how I'm conditioning it. This is why I think love isn't the strongest power in the world. This is why I think so and so hates me. This is why blah blah blah. When you see that and you don't make an excuse for it and you see it as that, sit on it. Let it simmer. Don't just get the answer and float away. Simmer in it. Why does that action make me feel like they hate me? Why is that the thing I'm drawn out of it? And why do I have to project it on them? Why can't I see what they did was for love of their own? Why can't I see that what they were doing was their own love? Why can't I see that I didn't accept that as love? Now, that don't mean you gotta accept it as love. That don't mean that you gotta go around and be love and kissy wissy with some people. I'm just telling you, that's how you heal. That's how you look at these things to uncondition it so you can be in full love and not hold these grudges. Y'all worried about the dark arts and all these dark magicians and shit. Oh, they're attaching themselves to me because you still got hate in your system. Because you still vibing low somewhere in your internal system that allows them to grab onto that shit. Advice does not have to be physical. It can definitely be mental. It can be emotional. It can be anything. That bias can be that repeating thought that gives you the fuel to not like someone and to laugh at their life falling apart. But yet you don't want people laughing at you when your life fall apart. But then that's a contradictory because why the fuck would you laugh at someone if you didn't want to be laughed at in the first place? And then you say, well, they laughed at me first. No, they did not. I'm a tool you back. If you say they were the first to laugh at you at that, I want you to take it all the way back to the very first person that laughed at you. It's probably your mom and dad, or probably the doctor that pulled you out. You don't even know who the first person to laugh at you was, but apparently that stuck with you so hard that you got to project it out there at that point in time. It goes that deep. People don't look at it. The first time you cried was when you came out your womb. Even though that was you igniting your systems with the breath of life that ignited the fire in your solar plexus, even though that was doing that, it was still the first time you cried, was it not? So why are you holding that grudge against someone else and the first time that you cried was tears of life? Why are you not seeing that aspect? Why haven't you took it back that far? That's what you gotta see. That's what you gotta know. You know, I got multiple positions that have been bestowed upon me upon my father, upon Anu. I'm a child of Yanun. I am part of that green light. And when it comes down to speaking this truth, when it comes down to showing people how deep it go, how far back, and it ain't even trauma. It goes back to an unresolved memory that needs to be remembered or put back together. Me mori, part of your death that needs to be put back together. Your spiritual death gives your physical birth. Berth. Being brought to the waters by a DOC tour. They tear you through that veil of the womb or the stomach, depending on if you got C-sections or not, you know, depending on what happened. Or shit, even through the veil of the damn test tube. Some people came through that too. But they take you through there. It's a whole thing. Look at these words. And then you're given life. You're given life because you're able to take that first breath, and that fire does not cause you to spontaneously combust. Some children don't make it past that. Some babies don't make it past that fire. It's too much for them to control, so they end up passing away shortly after. Because that fire too pure for them. That fire too strong for them. Or something happened when they took that breath in and that fire didn't register with their system properly. So they didn't grow that life. So you gotta see, you gotta understand these things. The same the cry that you make out when you're born is a cry to God, to Allah. You're crying in the ah tone. That's what you're crying. It's a pure frequency. The same scream, or the same scream that you would give if you were falling off a cliff. It's the same scream that you give when you're coming into life. It's just a reversal. You guys got to see that. So when you talk about these coming into life with these traumas and unconditioning yourself, you got to remember where it actually rooted in that spiritual self. What spirit was inside of you when you took that breath? What spirit is crying out for attention for you to see? And do you want that spirit in your body? Or do you want to get rid of it? You can get rid of a spirit. A spirit don't gotta be in your body. A spirit can come and go as it pleases. It's your soul, if you have one, that needs to stay unless you decide to give it away. Your ka and your ba, your spirit and your soul. Now, if you got both of them, they both be flying out your body when you sleep. That's when you get all these things like sleep paralysis and sleep apnea and shit like that. That's because that's because something's trying to take over your ka. So your ba has to alert your damn body. And that's why you wake up. That's why some people can't wake up from their nightmares. They ain't got that soul to call them back down. Be like, hey, look, that's happening to you because that spirit overpowered their soul, or that's the spirit that they harboring, and it mentally shocks you. Because maybe you ain't supposed to have that spirit in you. You're like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't be doing that. You know, we live in a spiritual world. I thought we knew this. Everything around us is a spirit. So don't lose track of that. Don't lose that grip. We do not live in a soulful world. There are beings down here who have souls, but this is not a soulful world. This is a spiritual world. Nothing but spirits down here. Ain't nothing but spirits down here. You got some good-hearted people. You got some kind-hearted folks. You got some confused people. But overall, you just got spirits. And it don't matter what your heart look like if you got a distorted spirit in your system. And that spirit gonna take hold of you, make you do whatever the fuck you want. And this all rides back up into that unconditional love. That spirit inside of you can make you have that grudge or that lack of seeing that unconditional love, that spirit inside of you. Because you gotta look at it. People look at things too bluntly. They look at a spirit of Jezebel as one that is lustful. Aren't your lust things that you want in this world? And if you want someone to stop, you're lusting for them to stop. You begging for them to stop. You praying for them to stop. Is that not a lustful damn thing to keep doing? I want you to look at it. Don't look at it from a sexual point of view because I know a lot of people can't separate lust from that. Look at it from what it truly is. Because if you wanted it truly to stop, if you needed it to stop, first of all, you would not need to want it to stop if you needed it to, because then you would put an end to it. But because you programmed your mind to say, I want this, I want that, and then you don't focus on your needs, it changes it. And just because you say, I need this to stop now, does not mean it's going to switch at this point. You got to break those boundaries that want has put you in, that condition of those wants where you aren't doing this and aren't doing that because of those wants instead of what you need. And when you need something, you do it. You don't want to breathe, you need to breathe for your body to work. Your body's not saying I want you to breathe. Your body's like I need to breathe. I'm gonna keep the system running until the fire burns out. So you gotta go out there and get it. You gotta go out there, make it stop. How do you make it stop? How would you make it stop? How would you, with you and the talents that you have been given in this life, make these things stop? That's what you gotta ask yourself. Because you can pray, but what are you doing after that word is out? What's your next step? Because that's your spiritual step. What's your physical step after that? If your physical step is hold on to a grudge or doing the things that are keeping you in that same cycle, then you're not gonna make it that far out that gate. I hate to break it to you. But if your next step is truly doing your best to release those things, and I don't mean just by ignoring it, I mean by sitting down, looking at yourself, and dissecting it bit by bit, seeing the violent actions inside of you that would give a calling to another violent action happening. The mental attacks that you're receiving, not just leaving them at mental attacks that you're allowing on yourself, but seeing what in my vagus system is causing it. Where am I feeling this pressure? How can I ease this pressure out of my body? Doing that is going to help you. But again, all of this roots back to unconditional love. If you don't have love that is not conditioned in any way, shape, or form, you ain't getting out of that puzzle. You ain't getting out of that game. They got you. They got you hella good. They got you wrapped up in all sorts of shit, all sorts of places. But you won't see that because you don't want to see that. Though you need to see it, you don't want it. And because a lot of people operate off of a life of wants rather than needs, that's going to overpower your whole thing. I'm telling you. There's a song by Chuck Sutton in Patches called Problems, and there's a verse. The hook of it goes, if we ain't got a problem, then tell me what the problem then. It's not what you want, it's what you need. If we ain't got a problem, then tell me what the problem is. If you don't want something, then there ain't no problem. But if you can't get rid of it, then tell yourself what the problem is. Because obviously you hold on to it for something. And don't be saying that it's someone else's problem with you. Because that just means you're the problem. If someone got a problem with you, that means you the problem. If you got a problem with someone else, guess what? You also the problem. It's just a verdict of seeing it externally or internally. What did you do externally to become that problem? Learn that, don't do it no more. If you found out that it's not a bad thing to do and you being a problem in that circumstance is actually a pository thing, then continue going down that path and do not let that projection of you being a problem get to you. But if you find out that what you're doing is a problem, and you probably shouldn't be doing it, you better sit your ass down and figure out what you're doing, and, and figure out why you're still doing it, how to break it, when it started, and the importance of why you used it in that time. Because there was a reason why you did it. Obviously, there's a reason why we do all things. But you got to know what that reason was so you can tell yourself fully what's going on. That's the whole thing. People don't get it though. It's bizarre. It is bizarre. It is bizarre. It is bizarre. But at the end of the day, at the beginning of the day, because it's probably going to be the end of the day for a lot of these folks that ain't going to get this unconditional love message. They're going to look at it, be like it's a bunch of hoo ha, and then continue getting the same blasphemies read to them every day. They ain't going to see the truth. They ain't going to be able to hold on to that truth because it's rough. Well, it's not even. It's not even. I'm gonna be honest with you. It is not hard. It is not hard to hold on to the truth. I don't know why people keep saying that shit. That's probably the devil's funny game for real. I think it's cute because he always go. It's always hard to do this. It's hard to. No, it's not hard to do shit. You just make it hard on yourself because you agreed to that statement, and and then and then that just gives you reasons to make it hard on yourself. It is not hard to ride a bike. It is your own mental limitations that hold you back from riding a bike. And then someone gonna say, I can't ride a bike because I'm disabled. I have no hands. Nigga, I've seen people ride unicycles, which is a form of bike. That is a one-wheeled, a uniformed bike, and people can ride that and need no hands. I've seen people ride bikes with one leg. I've seen people ride bikes with stubs. Again, it is a mental thing. You just not mentally strong enough to overcome that barrier, and you're comfortable sitting in that illusion of not being able to do something. And that's it. Because you conditioned yourself. So then everything else around you gonna fall under that same condition. You're gonna fall under that same condition. It's the mentally dead that are the issue. They just repeat dumb shit. You got people saying, I know who I am. No, the fuck you don't. If you know who you are, I want you to name 5 cells in your body. And then on top of those 5 cells, name me their functions. And if they relate or communicate in any way, shape, or form, describe that to me right now. Don't use Google. Don't do none of that shit. If you know who you is. If you know who you are, what in your DNA strands make your hair black but your eyes blue? And if you cannot answer me that question, you do not know yourself. You know the illusion of yourself. You know what your ego wants you to grab onto to make yourself feel more comfortable and safe in this world of monstrosities, is what that is. But then again, that's your condition because you aren't gonna be able to see some shit. But it's these simple things. It's bizarre, but then you get down to this. You start talking like this. Oh, this is semantics. No, it's truth. It's bare bone truth because you say these words, and when you speak, you should use your words directly and wisely. So you can't just walk up to everyone and say some dumb shit and everyone go, "Oh yeah, no." We got people here who know how to use their brain. We got people here who aren't listening to other people's words. They sitting here and being real with themselves and being completely honest with themselves. It's like you don't know shit. They say, "Oh, I do this and for this light." Okay, what color is that light? Because light is not only a frequency, but that frequency out emits a color too. What color light are you doing it in? And do you know what that color light stands for? And then they gonna only name They only get a name like the colors of the rainbow, and then okay, so you're not part of like the gamma rays of light. You're not part of the ultraviolets or nothing. You just these. You just these. Okay. And then they go, well, no, I'm actually part of this one too. Oh, I'm sure you is, because if you were, you would have said that way first. And then you got people who are gonna hear me say this, and then they brain gonna configure some weird shit. Knows the word con and figure. They're gonna figure out the wrong shit, the opposites. They're gonna take the opposite of what I'm saying and then apply it outward. And I'm part of the neon beige color of the light spectrum. Like, shut up. Y'all get real. Y'all don't know what I'm saying. Some of y'all might. I'm not gonna say not everyone. Some people might know the secrets of colors. Some people might have took that teaching from Isis. Some of y'all might literally be children of the purple light, the blue light, the X-ray light, the green light. Some of y'all might be part of the amber light. Welcome in. Ain't no hate, just don't start no shit for real. Regardless of whatever light you came from, do you know why you came from that light? And what ray of light are you currently in? And if you didn't know, it's College of Chakras. But we ain't gonna get all the way into that because we are not taking color theory today. We can save that for another day. But it's all these things that people love to condition themselves in to make themselves look or seem something like. I don't give a fuck. You got people saying they the most intelligent person in the world, in the world, but yet they can't solve the most simplest shits. You got therapists out here who can't even solve their own damn trauma. The fuck are you a therapist for then? You haven't even helped yourself out yet. You probably should have gone to therapy first before you did those therapy classes. That's all I'm saying. Because all that therapy school is gonna teach you is how to talk in a dumbed down way to people so that they might get the healing, but to keep them in a cycle so that you can get money. That's all. Because that's all that niggas care about when they gonna get their next paycheck. What buzzwords can I use today to hook people in? I ain't using no fucking buzzwords. I tell people straight up, you sound stupid talking. Use your words a little bit better, please. Pay attention to what you're saying. And I don't mean stupid as insult. Look up what the word stupid means in its etymology, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. When I say deaf, dumb, blind, I'm not meaning that you're actually deaf, dumb, and blind. I'm just saying you don't know how to listen. You don't know how to see. You don't know how to use your brain. And that's fine. We got to learn how to use these muscles. That's why we got them. We got to train these muscles. But if you ain't going to train them, then what's the fucking point of having them? That's why. I ain't going that far. That's funny as hell. But that's why lobotomy exists for one. But for two, it's like, what are you doing? Why enjoy these conditions of holding yourself back just because I'm afraid about this happening? Okay, why are you scared of that? You're already doing it to yourself, so why are you scared of it? I'm scared of someone not liking it. Well, guess what? You now don't like the idea of doing it because you're not doing it. You did it to yourself first. Someone else does it to you. Congratulations, they weren't the first one there, and they certainly won't be the last. You got to be able to stand up. You got to be able to stand up. Not let these conditions put you down. And not lie to your damn self either. I know it's easy to lie to yourself, but it's easier to be honest with yourself because when you die and you look at your damn self and be like, yeah, you lied to me about this, this, and that, by the way. You said that we were gonna do this and we didn't we never actually did that because you were too afraid to. And you're gonna be like, yeah, and then you're gonna gloom, you're gonna fall down a step. Like, oh shit, I fell down a step. Yep. 41 more steps to go before you hit before you hit the point of no return. Really, 28 more steps where you hit the point of no return. Let's say 28. I'm at 18. My bad. But you guys gotta be careful. This is real. This is the reality. This is the actuality that we live in. People be so afraid because of religion of going to hell and shit when they They already living in hell. Shit. What do you think Earth is? It's a school. What do you think school is? School is also known as a cult because it's a place of learning where you're not allowed to go outside the boxes. You have to stay in this regimen at this time. It is a cult like establishment. It is a literal prison. It is another box of Saturn to discipline you in your mind so that you don't escape or go somewhere new. So then you say, Earth is a school. What the fuck are you learning then? Because a lot of people are just learning how to hold themselves in and not actually be free and learning how to make illusions around their life. And that's when it gets scary to think about because then you like, well, shit, is my whole life an illusion? Yes and no. Life's a dream, so don't stress out about it, but don't make your own dream a nightmare. Because it's your dream. It's your dreaming. At all times, always and always. Gotta make sure that you ain't slipping up on yourself. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Because if you don't take care of yourself, someone else will. That's just a fact. If you're not making sure you're in check, someone else gonna check you. You're not gonna like how they check you. But you gave them the freedom to. Because you didn't check yourself first. And then you went over there to someone else and they looked at you and said, I see that. But they don't see it as an issue. Trust me. Oh, they don't see that as an issue at all. No one sees it as an issue except for you. Because you're the one that need to cut it out. Because you're the one getting punished for it. But everyone else, like, nah, it's not an issue. That's a bonus. They gullible still. They haven't looked at it this way yet. So I can still get this out of it. That's why you gotta look at yourself. See yourself in a totality rather than nitpick. You are your worst enemy. You are your worst enemy. Because you won't let yourself see the horrendous stuff. You oddly enough, you love to lie to yourself so much that you think that you're hiding things from you to love you. Like how your parents hid the fact that Santa Claus and the well, not all your parents. Some parents straight up told you that shit was a lie. Thank goodness. But some people have been like, Santa Claus and Easter Bunny are real, and then your dumbass, silly ass child self thinking bunnies lay eggs and shit. And then one day it just hits you. Rabbits don't lay damn eggs, do they? They get babies. They're mammals. Mammals don't lay eggs. Mammals have eggs inside their body, but they don't lay them out. They do all that alien shit. But it didn't occur to you back then. Oh shit! Oh, all you thought about was egg. Eggs have candy in them. No, the fuck they don't. Them plastic ones maybe, but eggs don't got no damn candy. The fuck. Anyway, anywho, y'all see what I'm getting. I know y'all get what I'm getting. But that's what we're talking about and shit. Like you think your parents like, well, if we don't tell them this, then they'll just grow up without having an imagination. No, you can just tell them how to use their imagination without lying to them, so that their imagination don't lie to them when they grow up. They can be able to actually use their imagination in a positive, not positive, and an optimistic way rather than a pessimistic way. Because the same function that allows you to use your imagination to create crazy stories and art is the same function that allows you to give yourself excuses for why you can't do stuff or why things are happening to you rather than using them for your benefit. Because it's your imagination, and a lot of people just use their imagination to tear their whole life straight up. They ruin their life with their imagination. But it's important, man. I'm just telling y'all straight up facts, straight up truth. Because ain't no one else on this dumbass site gonna do it. And if they do it, it ain't gonna be as honest. It ain't gonna be as fluent. It ain't gonna be as exact. They can do it in their own way, but I mean, listen. If you ain't calling the demons out inside of you, are you really doing shadow work? If you're not able to call out the shit that's inside of you, are you really doing it? And then you're already gonna have them people. You need to take your own advice. What do you think I've been doing for the past 26 years of my life? How do you think I know and can speak about it so deeply? I'm not like y'all who want to act like you know some shit and then don't do it. If I say I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. We all have a life. We all get caught up in stuff. Shit. But at the end of the day, it's up to you. What are you gonna do? Because it's you. And if you want something that you know you can get, what is stopping you from getting it? And then you really gotta look at yourself and be like, why is this stopping me? Why? People like to say, what makes me so different than so and so. It's called, well, it's your DNA that makes you different. Don't let yourself lie to yourself about that. It's your DNA that makes you different. Okay, there's your answer. But it's a mentality overall. It's just mentality. Nothing physical, just mental. They don't see things as obstacles. They see them as a point. Oh, I need this, so let me do this in turn. It's just playing a strategy game. It's just playing a strategy game. If you know how to play strategy games or card games or checkers or chess, fucking damn, even fucking goldfish, and you should at least know how to. And if you play any type of card game, you should at least know how to, look at what's around you and move better. Simple as it don't matter what type of card game it is. You got to use some kind of strategy, even playing goldfish. Anyway, I'm not getting into it. I just know some of y'all be counting cards when you playing goldfish, and I'm not gonna judge you, but I'm gonna say that's funny as fuck because I do the same thing sometimes. I'm not gonna lie, but for real though, ask yourself: are you really living in unconditional love, or have you conditioned the love around you to make it seem one way rather than the other? And that's gonna start letting you see the truth of the love around you. What conditions do you have in your mind about love that's keeping you stuck in certain patterns, in certain cycles? That's the big trick. Why are you watching a video of energy? Because I'll use this example because a lot of people are saying this. Why are you watching a video of that had your energy years ago in present day? Because you stuck in that same fucking energy and you ignored it up until this point to where it popped up again. It was like, hey, I'm here again. You want to pay attention to me now, or just tuck it back down and not get everything that you need set up for this aspect of your life. And that's up to you to see. Ain't no one else gonna force you to see, but it's gonna pop up. It's gonna make fun of you. It's gonna make your ego feel crazy. It's gonna be like, this is not for me because blah blah blah. Oh really? But then again, you one of those spiritual people that say, I can use my discernment, and then also and then also if you're watching it, then it's for you. But then again, when you hear something that you don't like, it's not for you because you condition yourself to believe that. But if you're gonna sit down and watch a whole damn 20 minutes of a video and then be like, this is not for me, I think you a little bit dumb. Why did it take you 20 minutes to figure that out? Because it was for you, and you just wanted to. Your ego just wanted a reason to talk and bust its big ass mouth open and be like, "It's not for me. It's for somebody else." But I'll watch it for my entertainment because you want to be part. Because that's the devil trapping you first off, because you got entertainment from it instead of actual knowledge. Because you would rather laugh at these things and joke at them and poke at them than see that you're here for a reason. Not and if that reason is just to laugh at it, fine, let that be your reason. But when it come back and bite you in the butt because you're like, damn, maybe this is it. When that day happens, don't beat yourself up too much. Keep laughing. Keep that same energy. Keep laughing at it for real. Because you got to somehow. That's what I want to talk about. I'm probably gonna be back multiple damn times tonight. I am probably not gonna sleep tonight. I have not slept at all the past few nights. And that's just how it's been. And that's just how it's gonna be for a while. So I will see you all whenever I see you all. Peace in the Lamb. It has been truly wonderful. Hadis Ashug Wadu.